brand new ending is up to you. If you don't go after what you want, it'll never be yours. If you
about it. Hurry now as the clock is ticking. Make your choice before it's too late. Yeah. As I see you falling down, tell me, do you believe the proposition? You measure wealth by the things you've obtained. Well, true love is always free, no equal monetarily, and nobody's feeling the shame. Move your mind in a new direction. Only ask you to think about it. Hurry now as the clock is ticking. Make your choice before it's too late. Just take a look around. As it all comes crashing down. You know I really love you. You know I thought I showed you. You know I'm sure I told you when to give and when to take. And all around you're dying, the world forever lying. And now I'm here and trying to show exactly what's at stake. Don't know what more I can say. Don't wanna leave you this way. Forget about your bitterness and your hate.
Hi, this is Carrie from Tone Wars. We're going to go live in just a few minutes, but before we do, I just wanted to take a few seconds to say a few things. Jared and I really appreciate when you guys tune in and interact with us when we go live. We work very hard to make sure that our live streams and our produced videos are educational and entertaining for everyone. Believe it or not, there's a lot of work that goes into our live streams and our produced videos. So if you like what you're experiencing here, here's a couple ways you can help us out. The Super Chat feature is turned on and any amount will be appreciated. Jared is also available for private consultation for a nominal fee. You can contact Jared through two of the links below. One is through our Tone Wars Facebook page and the other is through email. So thank you so much for your support. The live stream's about ready to start, so go pour yourself your favorite glass of whiskey or other libation and we'll be right with you. Cheers!
Welcome to Tone Wars.
Hello everybody, good to see you. Let me turn on my in-ear pack. There we go. What's going on? I hope you guys are enjoying the waiting room there. That's what I call it. That's what I labeled it here. I just wanted to give you guys something enjoyable to listen to and to watch while you wait for me to start. And it helps me get the algorithm out on YouTube. So I wanted to thank everybody for being here. Very much appreciate it. Look forward to tonight. Tonight's going to be really different. I have the Podgo here, and I was supposed to do 4 mixes for you guys last night, but because we had a power outage, I couldn't do them. So I figured I would just do them for you tonight instead, and I would just discuss how I set up the presets quickly on this and just show you what each one sounds like and kind of talk about some of the effects. Do a little Q&A with that quickly, and then I would move on to the what's it called? HX Command. I'm going to do a screen share with you guys through the HX Edit software. And truth be told, today is the first day I've actually used the HX Edit software for anything else than anything other than a update. So I've always used it for just updates and stuff. So I had to I can't believe I haven't used it more. It's so much faster. But I had to kind of learn how to use it a little bit today because there's a couple of different steps that you have to take with snapshots and stuff with the HX Edit software. Once I figured those out, it was quick, man. It was awesome. So I have a gate on my mic tonight I'm trying out because I have my fan on. I was talking to Aaron Short, hi Aaron, about that, and it really does make a difference. It's gating out the fan and any other new noise in the room, so it's pretty cool. Very, very handy little gadget there that's in my Line 6 StageScape M20D mixer that I use. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to show you the HX command. I'm going to give you like what I did, and I actually dialed it in today. I dialed it in this afternoon. I was very quick to do, very easy, and it was actually really fun to get creative with my presets and do some really cool stuff with all my snapshots and pedals. And I did kind of a variety kind of thing. And what I'll do is after the show, I'll tweak it and just make, because I literally have not heard it yet in a mix. So I'll play it in a mix for you tonight. So whatever I dialed in is kind of by memory, to be honest with you. I haven't tested it in a mix yet. So I'll fine tune it tonight, and by midnight I'll have it up on the HX or Helix or the Line 6's place where you get all the tones, custom tone. I'll have it up down there for you. It's under Jared 5182. So that's where you'll find it. And I think it's called TW HX Command. So you'll see it in there. You'll see it up on the screen when I do the screen share with you as well. So yeah, I had a lot of fun dialing it in. It was, I'll tell you, that feature is the absolute best feature that Line 6 has done in their updates so far, besides the snapshots feature. That one was total, amazing. I love that feature. And then what they did is they kind of had it pass the torch to this feature which it just gave that snapshots feature a nice boost. It's under the hood, and I'll explain it to you guys in a little bit here. But especially if you're a touring musician or you play out a lot, that feature right there is going to just be amazing for you. It's going to make your workflow and everything so much easier. And you're going to have more tonal options, more options with effects when you're on stage. You're not going to have to sacrifice anything now because you'll have 10 switches that'll literally do anything you want them to do. And it's super easy to program. You could program it on the Helix itself or in the software. I chose the software tonight so that you guys could see what I did. And it's hard to get the camera angle without the glare and all that kind of stuff when I'm doing stuff on the Helix. So I decided to do that for you guys and kind of forced me to learn the software tonight. So anyways, I'll say hi to everybody real quick, and then I'm going to do 4 mixes for you. And we'll head over to the computer, and I'll switch to that screen. I'll have to bring this mic with me, so there'll be about a minute of me kind of moving things around. And then we'll get started with that. So let's say hello. Got 21 people. Awesome. So good to see you guys. Phil, what's going on, buddy? George Guitar, what's going on? Hey, Tone Wars, he says, what is Gain Stages Through the Ages video coming out? When is the Gain Stages Through the Ages video coming out? I don't know. That's a good question. You know what? Thanks for reminding me. Maybe we can do that on a live stream sometime soon. I'll write that down tonight, and I appreciate the reminder. The last week or so has been extremely chaotic for me with all of the upgrades I've been doing with the studio and with my website and stuff. So it's been, my mind's been kind of sidetracked with all that stuff, but I appreciate the reminder. Yeah, let's do that. And feel free to remind me again. But I'm gonna write it down tonight and put it on the schedule of things, episodes to do. Let's see here. Frank Rashad's here. What's going on? Thank you so much for coming. By the way, for those of you that are, in the know as far as who's who at Line 6, Eric Klein, basically the developer and the inventor, I guess you want to say, for the Helix. Hopefully we're in the workings right now of getting him on here for an interview with me, and hopefully Carrie will be able to join me for that as well. Just depends on how schedules work out. But we're going to have a really cool interview with Eric, and we're going to kind of pick his brain about a lot of cool stuff. And I got some really good questions for him, and feel free to shoot my question or any questions you want me to ask him at my email, which I'm putting in there right now. And I'll be happy to represent you guys to Eric and ask him questions for you guys. And I think that's going to be a really cool interview. So let's see here. Let me go back. Helix Cabana Boy, Jason Taylor, JJ's House of Jams. What's happening, guys? Really appreciate you being here. Christopher, awesome tone and playing, he says. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. Derek Morrell, what's going on, buddy? Let's see. Let me see. Warm Chord, what's going on, Jay? How you doing, buddy? You're having some... Knob Creek Maple. I'm having Buffalo Trace tonight. Yeah, I got to get some more of that Knob Creek. Somebody asked me a question... I think it was, okay, so people were asking me what did I use on the video. So the first video was a Helix with a precision drive in the effects loop in front of the amp sim. And that's what I used on there, and we double tracked it. And I wish I had the gain up a little higher, but the engineer wanted it down. And I just love having a little more saturation in my tone, but it still sounded really good. Second song, quick story about that. At the time, I was using the... Pod HD 500X because it was like just easy to carry around and all that. And I brought it to the studio, and I said, what are we going to do as far as guitar tones go? And the studio engineer's like, well, you could plug in with that and we'll reamp it later. So I'm like, all right, so we could pick whatever we want. We can stick with that pod. We can pick amps. We could do whatever we want later. And I was like, okay. So I plugged in with that, and I didn't really pay much attention to what was going on tone-wise. I just had a tone that was workable, usable, supported what I was playing, and recorded all my tracks for that album. And we got done, and on mixdown night, I was like, I'm still hearing my original tone. I thought we were going to do a reamp of it. And he goes, oh, well, if you wanted to do that, you would have had to plug straight into the board. We'd have to pick a VST and then reamp it later. I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me that? So it was one of those deals where it was like, all right, well, let's just tweak this tone and EQ it and make it sound as good as we can, and go with that. It actually turned out pretty good. It's different. It's different than the first song. I prefer the tone that I had in the first song, but hey, it worked for that song and that album anyway, so it was fine. And then the third song, I believe, was the Helix again. And then I have a couple songs after that where I use the Synergy rig that I have. So, but you haven't heard those yet. So one of these days I'll play. I'll go live early enough where you can hear them all. I got 25 people here. Awesome. Gravel Rocks, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Let's see here. Let me make sure I'm saying hello to everybody. Don't want to. Okay. All right. So here is. I saw Aaron Short's video today. He did his first impressions with the Pod Go. I gotta tell you, man, this little guy is just super cool. It's fun. It's extremely affordable. It's portable. You can get pretty creative with it, and it just does a lot of cool stuff. I mean, for the price, you really can't go wrong with this product. I've had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, you guys are saying I should have used the DI box. Yeah, I mean, that was back when I didn't know any better. I just went to this big studio. It's pretty intimidating. And it was back in 2012, I believe. So I didn't know what reamping was. I had no idea what it was back then. And they just completely the guy just swindled us, to be honest with you. It was awful. Probably the worst recording experience I've ever had in my life, and I've had a lot of them. We walked out of there with our album, but it was an arm wrestling contest to get it done. It was like I said, it was an awful experience. But where we record now is awesome. Mick Maslowski over at Zoinga and Paul Raymond, great guys. I've had a lot of good experiences there. Zero issues. Everything turns out really good. And that third, I can't hold up 3 fingers. That third song is from Mick Maslowski's studio, and so is the first one. So you can hear the quality difference there. It's really good. Okay, so let me do a couple mixes for you. Helix direct for the recording or into an amp? Good question, Derek. I went direct. So I went through a DI right into the board and used an impulse response on the first song. Yep, that's what I did. Yep. Okay. Aaron says, agree, nothing better for the price, but Helix Floor is accelerating away with the new firmware and MIDI stuff. Of course, the MIDI stuff can be used on other products also. Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, I mean, people are asking me earlier, like, you should do a budget gear a budget gear episode, and I'm telling you, like, it's got to be below $1,000. I mean, I think the Pod Go is going to be part of it because it's just for $450. I'm not kidding you, man. It's a no-brainer. It really is, and hopefully my playing's good enough tonight where I can prove it to you. So let's do a couple mixes and get the night started, and after that we'll do the HX Command Center. Here we go. Helps when you plug in. All right, you always got to plug in. It's a healthy thing to do with your guitar. Plugging in is good for you. I'm usually have my wireless, so I'm not used to having a cable here. All right, here we go, guys. Okay, let's switch guitars. Turn the volume down. Boy, I am not used to using a cable. So weird for me. Yeah, grab this one. Come on. Yeah, this one's got the wireless. This is for the Helix later. After I go over those presets and the HX command. What a cool, fantastic update that has been to get to know. Everybody got distracted with the Rev Purple, which was great. I'm sure a lot of people really liked that, and they didn't pay attention to the what was under the hood with that update with the command. Oh, and man, what a killer update. I can't wait to show it to you guys. I hope I present it well. Again, it's my first time using HX Edit, so it's going to be interesting. Okay, this one is called the Sphinx. Let me find it. Where are you, Sphinx? Give me 1 second. I got to clean up this list here. I got so many songs on here. It's not even funny. So finding them can be a bit of a challenge. Here it is, right in front of me. All right. Let's see, what was I supposed to do? Turn this. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right, 4 mixes as promised. Again, sorry I couldn't do them last night with the power outage and stuff, but got her done tonight for you guys. And I'm just going to quickly go through the presets on here. And then I'm going to switch gears and go into the HX. I'm trying to remember the name. HX Command. Yeah, I've been saying it to myself all day so I don't screw it up. Okay, so what I have here is 4 presets, or four snapshots. I got a rhythm, so this is the rhythm. Okay, it's just a nice, I always call it dry crunch. That's always my first snapshot. And then my second snapshot is the exact same settings, except I added a little bit of delay and some chorus to it to give it some modulation and some size to add dynamics to parts of songs that I want to, make a little bigger. And I'm sure you heard it as soon as things switched and the song got more dynamic. I raised my level of dynamics with it so that I wasn't left behind, you know, and I added to the dynamics. So not only did I keep up with the song's dynamics, but I was part of why they got bigger. So a little bit of delay and a little bit of chorus will always do that. There's some tricks that I use, and I want to see if I can upload this to Custom Tone for you guys as well. I just got to get all this stuff, you know, done. I've been really busy with everything. Okay, so let me play that real quick for you. Okay, so I'm going to play the same rhythm, and I'm going to go from the dry crunch to the big crunch, and you're going to hear the dynamic difference. Here we go. So you can hear it got bigger, and the modulation really helps. I'm going to show you something else. This is the second song. It's called Disjointed. There's a lot of harmonics in that song, and the reason why I switched to big chorus or big crunch on that when the song starts going into the weird part that I'm about to play, there's a lot of harmonics going on, and the chorus really makes the harmonics ping really nicely. You can hear them more. So let me show you. I'm going to play it first with the dry crunch, and then I'll do it again with the big crunch. Wrong guitar. I played on that. I was like, why does this sound funny? Wrong tuning. But yeah, at least you get to hear the harmonics and how they ping better. Even that last little, you know, it's just everything stands out better. Even how the song ends, I'll show you that. Yeah, so when you're doing stuff that's a little dissonant, having some chorus on it, even with a little bit of delay, it just opens it up and makes it sound even more aggressive, and it makes those notes ping out more. And that's what's so nice about the snapshots, is they allow you to do that seamlessly. And the effects on here are really good. So it didn't take long to dial in at all. I mean, this was really easy to do. Here's the two lead settings. There's no gate on them because I don't use gates on leads unless I'm going to have stop parts in it, and then I'll put one in. I just don't like my notes getting choked off, and I want to have all the sustain that I can get. So here is the first lead setting. Okay, so that's got some good delay on it, and it's about 850 ping pong delay. I always like stereo delays. And this next one is basically has the phase 90 in the front of it. So it's the script mod phase. And all the rest of the settings are the same. So let me do a little something on that for you. So by itself, it might sound, yeah, man, that's a lot of delay, but in a mix, it sounds huge. It sounds like a concert. I don't go for, delay. I don't go for small delay sounds when I'm playing live to a track, because I literally want to give anybody that's watching me on YouTube or on stage. Obviously, you're getting a concert experience because it is a concert, but here I want it to sound huge. So it's not to make me sound better. I mean, yeah, I will sound better with it because they sound bigger. So it's kind of a symbiotic thing with the two, but I want to sound bigger. So when I go into a solo, it just completely, it doesn't take over, because you can still hear the rest of the instruments and the backing tracks very well, or in a band setting, you can hear the rest of the band very well, but it just sounds huge. And every time I get it from John Petrucci, every time I go see Dream Theater live, his solos are just a high point of every song. As soon as he starts soloing, you can hear the repeats just spinning around the room, and it sounds huge. It sounds enormous. So, some people say, well, you use delay to cover up your mistakes. Well, it actually repeats your mistakes. So, I don't use it to cover up things. I just use it because I love how big it sounds. There is a threshold. You don't want to go too big and too loud with it. I mean, because then it just becomes, the swarm of notes that are coming behind you can overtake the notes that you're playing if you don't set it up right. That's why I go for a long delay, like a 850, because I got time to play what the phrases and the passages that I'm going to play before they start catching up to me. And if they're too loud, they'll spill over into the next phrase that I do. So you don't really want that. You just want them to give you that space and let the notes melt away, so that you have a little bit of breath in between the passages that you're playing, and it doesn't seem so awkward. Because if you don't have the delay, I mean, every passage that you transition to gets really awkward, and it just doesn't sound that good. It sounds kind of amateur, to be honest with you. It has this amateurish kind of sound to it and feel to it. And if delay is dialed in properly, you have this very nice, polished, produced, very well dialed in sound that you've taken a lot of care in, and people do appreciate that. They might not know what it is, but they do know that they like how it sounds. So, and it does add to the essence of what you're doing. So I will be selling presets soon on my website. I'm still building it, but I'm spending a lot of time dialing all these in, and I test them with my mixes, not just with my in-ears, but I actually go upstairs, stereo system, with different cabs, different studio monitors up there, and make sure that I get that really big, awesome sound. And what I'm also going to do is give you a Snapshot that has delay in it, but it's for personal practice. So it'll be like you can play your solos, but I'll kind of like take the delay down a little bit as far as volume goes, and then you just hit that Snapshot and you can have your own personal practice time with it. Have some delay there and some space, but it's not overwhelming, because again, when you play these by themselves, it's a little overwhelming, but in a mix, perfect. Whenever I watch the show back, I listen to the delay really close. I'm like, all right, did I get it right this time? And man, it was like these settings last time I did a show with the Pod Go, I was like, oh my God, that's it right there. Holy crap, that sounds like a freaking concert. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give you that concert experience with tons of dynamics, huge kind of like I want you to feel like you're in a concert hall. I really do. That's what I'm going after. All right, so let me read a couple comments. Thank you, Frank. I really appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. It means a lot coming from you. Return Dakota, what's up, man? Let me go back. I apologize if I missed any comments here. Camera makes you white. Yeah, it's I'm definitely screwing around with the lighting and stuff down here, but yeah, it should be. I should have it dialed in pretty good by now. Let's see here. Sounds great. Is this IR? Oh, this is a tonight. I'm screwing around with the ML Sound Labs impulse responses. The ones he did with Misha Mansour, the Gent Pack or something. These are really good. This one's great. It's got a nice throaty kind of cut to it, and it feels good too. And I'm going to do an episode about that. I'm still really digging the Live Ready Sound stuff tonight as well, but this was just one of those like, yeah, I should try these. I've never tried any of ML Sound's stuff, and I figured, well, I'll get the pack and see. And so far, I'm very impressed with it. Very impressed. Very, very good. Let's see here. Drums are overpowering a bit. Oh, well, yeah. So I mean, I'll have to listen back to it. I mean, every night the mix is a little different because I'm dialing in a different piece of gear, but hopefully hopefully you guys could hear the guitar still good tonight. Thanks for the heads up though, Jay. Real clear and tight sounding, Jason says. Cuts through the mix great. Thank you. Yeah, it's got a great, what's up, Richard? It's got a great feel and a great cut to it. Full. I love it. Ben Burnett, what's up, buddy? And I want to give Ben a shout out too. He helped me out with some of the HX edit stuff tonight. Because again, I've never used it before other than for updates. So there was, I didn't know how to, when you go into snapshots and you push a knob and make adjustments and it makes it just for that snapshot. I didn't know how to do that on HX edit. And I had to call Ben and he's like, oh, we just hold down Alt. Click on the thing, and then you'll see the brackets pop up, and then you make your adjustments. So thanks. I was sweating bullets because I was winding down to the show, and I'm like, I got to get this stuff dialed in. George, what's going on, buddy? Sounds great. What's the signal chain? Thank you. Signal chain is basically the Pod Go is going straight into the Line 6 StageScape M20D board, and that is going right out of that into my interface, which is the PreSonus audio box, which is hooked to my computer, and right out to you guys. So that's what it is. There's no EQ, there's no compression, there's nothing on the signal at all. I don't do that here. Everything that you hear is raw. There's no fixing, no tweaking, nothing. The only tweaking that's done is on the Pod Go or whatever amp or piece of gear that I'm playing. I just dial that in and that alone to my taste to get it to sound right, and I don't do any pre or post anything to it afterwards. There's no processing done to it because I want you to hear this stuff in its raw form and to make educated decisions based on reality, not trickery. And that's how I do it, because I'm not one of those guys that has the man behind the curtain making everything sound good. I want to represent the gear the way it's supposed to be, and that's real. I want it to just, if the gear stands up on its own and it doesn't need all this extra help and tweaking, then it's a good piece of gear. So what you're hearing tonight is a $450 pedal that has a ton of features and options and amp models, and you could put a ton of impulse responses in it, and it's just left and right direct out to you guys through a board. And again, there's nothing on it. There's no tweaks. And it just, I'm enjoying it. I really am. I mean, if there was a word, maybe a group of words I could sum up the Pod Go with, would be fun. It's very fun. Affordable, $450. You get all that. You can go to the store and buy one pedal and spend almost that, or sometimes even $450 on one pedal, and not get half the stuff that this thing does. And in most cases, you can go to the store and get two pedals, maybe a chorus and a delay, and still not do anything near what this product does. So it's just a great value. So I would say value, would be another one. And inspiring, easy, simple to use. It's just a very good product. And for those of you that need a backup rig, or even it's great. It's like you're going to jam with friends, or you just want to sit and watch TV and play through it and just warm up or write stuff. It's a great writing tool. I mean, literally, I have fun with this. I really have enjoyed getting to know it. And the software for it is super easy to use. So I really have to tip the hat to Line 6 on this product. It's just great. When I first heard about it, I was like, oh, great, another Helix Junior type product that's just, it's got stuff the Helix does, but not as much, and I was kind of like, well, I wonder when they're going to come up with Helix 2, because that's what I'm more interested in. But then I played it and got to know it, and got it here for the first time, and I was like, I see why they did this now. It's so cool. And for $450, These things will be flying off the shelves everywhere because they're so affordable. People from all walks of life and all skill levels will be getting them, and they're just such a great tool, to use. And I have it hooked up upstairs in my living room through my studio monitors, which are about 15 feet apart, and I got the big delays going on and stuff. And man, I had so much fun writing. I was working on a guitar that I almost had done, and I had a couple phrases that I was trying to finalize. And I brought this up and I played for 3 hours one night, a couple nights ago, and finished the solo. So it's done, and I finished it on the Pod Go. So there you go. I mean, that's pretty inspiring. So again, great job. And I'm not being paid to say it. It's just, I'm just being honest. You guys know me. Okay, so a couple more comments, and I'm going to switch gears here. Can you run through your chain? Oh, good. I just did. So I'm glad I got that. Nathan said, excellent tone. Thanks. Yeah, it's just, it's the Rev General Ed with the, tonight I'm using a new IR just to try out from ML Sound Labs, and I love it. Sounds really good. It's from the Gent Pack. Ben Burnett told me about those, so thank you, Ben. And I went and got them, and they sound amazing. The tone on your first video was awesome, Helix Cabana Boy said. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, it did. It sounded really good. Yeah, it fit the song really well, and that we did reamp on that. We recorded in a VST, and we reamped through the Helix on that, and yeah, that engineer he was amazing. Mick Maslowski, great guy. Okay, Return to Coda. Let me see. Oh, I think he was talking to somebody else. Let's see here. I just want to make sure I got everybody's comments here. I always feel bad if I miss somebody's comment. Alan Haller says, yes, put it on custom tone. Yes, I will. It'll be up tonight. I promise. Before midnight, I'll put it up there. The one on the Helix for the HX command. And I'll have to look. Does PodGo have a section there yet? They probably do. If they do, I'll put this up there too. Obviously, it won't come with the IR. You'll have to put your own IR with it, but at least you'll get the presets. I've never put it up anything from the PodGo yet, so that'll be a first for me tonight. But I'll be happy to do that for you guys. And then my website will be up soon, and I'll be selling all this stuff for a nominal fee very soon as well. And I'll be putting a ton more time into them for that as well. Just really nitpicking everything. Frank, thank you, Frank. Says, sounds great from here. All the way from Cali. Awesome, thank you. Let's see. Leland, what's going on, buddy? Chilling here after a long day at work. Yeah. Yep, good for you, man. I've been working more lately. My business is starting to pick up for pressure washing, so I can't wait to get out there and start working again. So no post-processing, Ben said. Can you crawl on the floor and prove Oh my god, you're killing me, dude. Maybe I'll save that for another episode. Yeah, no post-processing. Oh man, yeah, that's what those curtains are for back there. There's a guy behind there. It's turning knobs. Oh man, Frank Rashad said, you just made Eric Klein's week. Fun is what we shoot for at every level of product. We are proud to roll out our HX models to a broader audience. Great demo, man. Thanks, Frank. Yeah, seriously, I mean, that was the first word that came to my mind. When I plugged this in and dialed in my first patch, I was like, well, that was fun. Bing, put that right in the brain. I'm like, I got to keep that in mind. It was fun, and I enjoyed playing through it. And when I played it the other night up in my living room for 3 freaking hours, I was like, I'm having so much fun right now. I'm just sitting here enjoying this thing through my studio monitors, and it was easy to bring up here. It's got a little handle underneath. You just grab it, put it upstairs. I put it on my my little TV stand, with the where you eat and stuff. I put it on there, and I just sat there and just turned a few knobs, and I just played my mixes with this. I always bring this up with me. This is my all my backing tracks around here, and I just had the room just filled with music for 3 hours. I played this solo on a loop over and over and went over parts for hours, and I just had a great time with it, and I was inspired. I wasn't sitting there going, I wish I had my whatever fill in the blank gear here. I should go get that instead. And I'm picky, guys. I really am. And I'm pretty demanding on what I want, especially tone and feel. And I had a great time with this product the other night. I really did. And when Eric Klein comes on the show, and I've never met him, I've never interviewed him before. In fact, I've never interviewed anybody on this show before, and this will be my first time interviewing anybody. So when I have him on here, I'm gonna have some really in-depth type questions for him. I'm not gonna ask him to reveal secrets and stuff. I mean, obviously, I'm just gonna ask him because I just feel like something's changed with the Helix stuff since I've played it last as a direct unit. I play it every day as a 4-cable method unit, but it feels like something's changed with the direct tones with it. It feels better to me than I remember it feeling, and it sounds better to me than I remember it sounding. It sounded good back then, but it sounds even better now, and I don't know if it's a placebo thing. I don't know what kind of wizardry is going on over there, but I'm really digging it. I really am, and I'm so glad that I have this. Look at how small this is. It's just this little, my foot is larger as far as length goes than the product. And look at all the sound I get out of this thing. It's crazy. This little thing. It'd be funny, wouldn't it, to go on stage and put this on the floor and have everybody just kind of smirk at you and go, "Oh, nice little toy there, buddy." And you're like, "Yeah, go sit down 3 rows back and you tell me if it's a toy after the show's over." And they'll come up afterwards and go, "Bro, where'd you get that?" Yeah, dynamite comes in small packages. You know what you guys should have called this? Have you guys ever seen Men in Black, Frank? You should have called it the Noisy Cricket. That little gun. That would have been a good name for it, too. The Noisy Cricket. That thing was crazy. All right, what do we got here? Aaron Short. I'm just trying to read all this stuff here. Okay. So yeah, Ben says yes. Podgo has a tone exchange. Awesome, thank you. So it's tone exchange. All right, so I'll put it up on there. I'll have fun with it tonight and do that. It has a section of custom tone. Thank you, Frank. Yeah, I'll definitely put this up tonight. I think it sounds great. I really do. And these mixes are bombastic as hell. So if it keeps up with these mixes, I think it's going to keep up with anything you guys put it up against too. So it's going to be really cool. I mean, I hope you guys made a buttload of these, Frank, because they're going to be flying off of shelves left and right. Seriously, it's a no-brainer product. It really is. That's the other word I would have, no-brainer. For $450, I think everybody should own one of these, because I'll tell you, I had a list when I first reviewed it last week, a list of people I think that was their target audience, but now that I've been playing it more, I honestly think that everybody should own this, because there's going to be situations that pop up, where you're going to need something like this, and it's just going to fit the bill. And when all that math happens in your head where you're like, "Oh, if I only had a Pod Go, and here it is. Now I can take this with me and do a thing." There's been days where I've come home from shows and, like the night before, and I get up, I pour my coffee, and I'm just like, yeah, I just want to jam a little, but all my gear is in a pile, and I'm like, well, I don't want to jam that bad. I got to hook all this crap back up. Well, if I had the Pod Go there and I got my studio monitors, I would just flick it on, hook it into the studio monitors, and I could play for hours and with no effort. And I'll get to the gear later. I can still play. I'm still enjoying this. It's very fun to play through, and I'm not feeling like I'm really missing out on anything or much of anything or whatever. I mean, we all have our favorite amps and stuff, but you're not going to be butthurt and bummed out by playing this. You're going to be like, holy crap, this thing sounds and feels really good. I'm telling you, man, Eric Klein, you guys did something. You guys really did something, and the impulse responses definitely help, with some things too, which is, another testament to what this product does. It allows you to use impulse responses. There's a product out there which will remain nameless, that will not let you use impulse responses. And it's really sad because you're stuck with whatever it comes with. So when you buy it, there's no upgrades. There's no like, well, I like the tone here, but when I put my impulse responses that I like, my go-tos in here, I'll be able to, be a lot happier with it. You can't do it with that product, but with this, you can. So it's, I'm still amazed. I'm playing, this little volume pedal and the wah and all that, and I'm playing all this stuff, and I'm hearing it in my ears, and I'm just like, it's just insane how much sound I'm getting out of this thing. So yeah, I'm having a good time with it. 400 billion suns. What's going on, man? Let's see here. I too vote for the bean spilling. Hey, man, maybe I can send Eric Klein some scotch or something, and before we do the interview, and I'll be like, must drink 3 glasses of this before we start. I don't know. Maybe we make it happen one way or another, So, all right. So let me, can't believe how good it sounds in earbuds. I'm blown away. Yeah, it really does. I got mine in right now, and it's a lot of fun. Guys, I'm just telling you, like, I'm not Mr. Salesman QVC guy. I'm just telling you, like, I honestly think I retract my statement from what I said in my last video, and when I had the list of people that I think it was their target audience. I partially retracted because I think that list that I said is definitely relevant. But I also, now that I've played it more and had more fun with it, I think everybody should have one. Again, I just think that with the price and the stuff that it has to offer and how small and portable and unique and functional, and it's like a Harry Potter tent. You walk in this little dinky tent, and it's like all this stuff pops out, and you're like, oh my God, you got a kitchen, you got 3 bedrooms, there's an upstairs, and it's like, where did all this come from? That's literally what it is. For $450. I mean, if you don't buy one of these, you're really missing out on some cool stuff. And if you're not familiar with Line 6 and what they do, which would be shocking, this is a great gateway drug into the Line 6 world. It really is. Okay, so I'll read a couple comments, and I'm going to switch gears here. What brand of studio monitors do you have, Alan says? Good question. So I've just been using the Mackies. I got a pair down here. I think are they 8-inch? I think they're 8-inch, and then the ones upstairs are just the little 3-inch ones. I just use them for TV practice. I got the TV volume kind of low. During the commercials, I play a lot, and then during the TV show, I play a lot during the show too. You can pretty much tell what's going on by facial expressions. She looks worried. Yeah, I bet she's worried about something. Oh, he looks mad. Oh, he's going to hit him. You can tell what's about to happen. You just play, and everything's pretty predictable. So that's what I do, and it's just a good blend of volumes that I have, and it sounds great through the studio monitors upstairs. It really does. So that's what I use. And then if I really want to practice like crazy, I'll come down here, pop in my in-ears, and use the tracks because it helps me dial things in for the show. But I also have the Friedman cabs. I have the Friedman ASC10, and I have 2 ASC12s. So if I really want to go nuts, I'll get the Friedman ASC12s out, okay, and then I will use those and just crank it up through those, and it sounds great through those too. So it just depends, depends on what I'm doing. Yeah, I would love to see you play a Shuriken. Yeah, I've tried it. I thought it was a good guitar. These guitars are so unique and they're so specific that anytime I pick up any other guitar now, it feels like a trombone to me. It's just, and it's not because they're not good. It's just they're just different. The bridge on this is so, unique to what I like, and it's also, you know, the string spacing on it. I'm so used to it now. So when I play like a Floyd Rose, I feel like I got to pack my bags to get from one string to another. They're so far apart in comparison. So I don't know. I would like to try one, but it's hard to get a good impression on a different guitar now, no matter how good it is, because they always feel foreign to me because of these. Let's see here. Alec Brown, mad scientist. Let me see. Somebody said something. I must have missed it. Sorry. Don't worry. We won't tell anyone on TGP or Helix forums. Dude, the gear page. Oh my God, that place. Oh boy, is that an interest? I'm not on there, but I've seen some stuff on there. People have sent me screenshots. Man, the sandbox fights over there about stuff is just crazy. It is nuts. I haven't tried the Pod Go with the power cab yet. Maybe I should do that. Let's see here. Oh, what kind of guitars are those? 400 Billionsons. These are Ernie Ball, Music Man, Majesty, Monarchy series. Okay, let me go up to the camera so you can see it a little better. So that's what this is. Gosh, I look tired. I got 4 hours of sleep last night. So it's a neck through design. Okay, so yeah, it's just a very unique guitar. It's got the piezo pickup here. I mean, all that stuff. It's just very, very unique. And they just play and feel amazing. And I just love these guitars so much, you know. So like I said, they're $3,300. So anytime you play anything else after playing something that's so unique, it's hard to really get into the other guitar because it just doesn't feel right. And again, it's not a thing where I'm like, oh, this guitar is so much better than anything else on the planet. And anytime I play anything else, I feel like I'm slumming it. Yes. That's not it at all. It just feels different. And I have to get to know it, you know. So let me do this. I'm going to switch gears. I'm going to go over and pull up the software and do a screen share with you guys and give you a quick rundown. I've already dialed all this stuff in. So what I'm going to do is show you what I did. Okay, instead of doing it, because you don't want to watch me dial all this stuff in. It would just be frustrating for you. So I'm going to show you the finished product, but you get to see my math. You get to see what I did. And then I'm going to bring the Helix over here, which will take a minute or two afterwards. And I'll just play all the presets and all the things that I did so that you can hear the results that you just saw. Okay, so just give me a minute. I'm going to play Carrie's little thing here. And I'm going to switch a few things around, and then we'll go ahead and switch gears into that.
Hi, this is Carrie from Tone Wars. We're going to go live in just a few minutes, but before we do, I just wanted to take a few seconds to say a few things. Jared and I really appreciate when you guys tune in and interact with us when we go live. We work very hard to make sure that our live streams and our produced videos are educational and entertaining for everyone. Believe it or not, there's a lot of work that goes into our live streams and our produced videos. So if you like what you're experiencing here, here's a couple ways you can help us out. The Super Chat feature is turned on, and any amount will be appreciated. Jared is also available for private consultation for a nominal fee. You can contact Jared through two of the links below. One is through our Tone Wars Facebook page, and the other is through email. So thank you so much for your support. The live stream's about ready to start, so go pour yourself your favorite glass of whiskey or other libation, and we'll be right with you. Cheers!
Welcome to Tone Wars.
Okay, can you guys hear me okay? I'm going to make sure I got the mic in the right spot. Okay. Alrighty then. So this is HX Edit. And so what we have here is so basically this is what you want to do. You can use this with all of the presets that you've already made. If there's snapshots, 8 snaps, 10 snaps, whatever you want to do, it's already good with that. So this is basically under the hood. So whatever you do here does not affect everything globally. So let me make that clear. So like if you dial this in on one of your presets, you're not stuck with the global stuff that's associated with this with all your other presets. It doesn't switch everything. It only switches it for the preset that you apply this to. So I hope that makes sense. What I'm going to do too is, okay, so let's say you have your preset and you got like all your snapshots, everything's dialed in and labeled the way you want it. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the mode button and make sure you don't have any stomps selected on the buttons. Otherwise, you're going to have, when you hit that button, you're going to do two different things. You're going to be turning things on and off, and it's going to drive you nuts. So make sure you clear all that out when you're going to do this, okay? Clear out all your stomps on the mode button, okay? So what's cool about this too is when you hit mode button, now you're not just going to have stomps, you're going to have command center instead of stomps, and then you hit mode again and you go back to snapshots. So no matter what, let's say no matter how you do this, like if you just want to have snapshots at a show, don't hit mode and you can just use the snapshots like you've always done and you don't have to worry about it. Or a show where you need the HX command, hit mode, and all those commands will be there. So I'll give you the layman's, blue collar kind of thing for it. So basically what you do is you take any single switch, any one of the 10 switches, and you can tell it to do anything you want it to do. Okay? So it'll do anything. It'll do momentary, it'll do latching, it'll do multiple commands, it'll do MIDI commands, it'll do bank up, bank down, it'll do even momentary, like you can have like what I'm going to show you in a minute here. If you have a pedal like a flanger that you just want to have a momentary switch for, and you program a snapshot with that flanger in it, you can program this to go not only to turn that on momentary, but when you lift off the switch, it'll take you to whatever preset you want. So it's just really, really handy. So again, if you're a touring musician, this is absolutely 1,000,000,000% something that you should use. I'm a firm believer in it. So you're going to go up to Window, you're going to go up to Command Center, and here's all your switches, okay? I didn't program them all, I just programmed what I needed for tonight. So this one here is just preset, next preset, okay? So let's start down here, and I could program this to the other preset if I want, previous preset. So I can do that. Let's see here, bank program. Whoops. Where is it? Preset. Next or previous. Okay. So then you can have a color. We'll just call it white and preset. So done. Okay. So then we're going to go to Window, go back to Command Center, and let's go to this guy right here. So this is your first one. So this is Crunch, which is my snapshot number 1. So I programmed it to do that. You're not going to do anything with this. It's just going to be press release, which is like a typical version of a switch. Snapshot 1 is what I chose. So here's all your choices. I chose snapshot 1. Release none because you don't need that. You can change the color here, label it here, and then done. Okay, you go to the next one. This is, I changed the color to turquoise because it's like a modified Crunch, which is green, so I modified the green color to turquoise. It's Big Crunch, which is basically the one I was telling you about earlier, where I have the chorus and delay on it for that. So that's snapshot 2. Okay, and again, you want to always have all your snapshots and everything dialed in, which you already do anyway. So all you're doing is applying these settings to those snapshots in that HX command mode, so that you can move them around any way you want. So it made them even more flexible, which is insane. So this is my lead. So I just got like regular lead with more delay. All right, and I don't have the noise gate on. And then here's another one, dark orange. I changed the color just so you can, know that it's a modified lead, where it's a big lead, where I just basically turn the delay up to 1100 milliseconds for those long singing notes. Okay, so I go up here. Here is a clean channel, which is blue. So I have, as you can see up here, here's the second chain. So I have another amp here with all of the effects associated with this, and these will all be muted. You won't see that until we go into the snapshots, but so all that's there, and so there I have all the effects associated with that. Here's my second clean channel, which on this one, if you notice, I have two delays here. One is a regular delay, and the other one is a reverse delay. I'm in a prog band, so I do a lot of crazy stuff, and I have a song where I have some eerie, creepy kind of stuff going on with it, so I'm going to use a reverse delay to give it that eeriness. Okay, so here's where it gets a little more interesting. You go to this one, and this one here is going to be a press release, but you have the press, okay, which is going to be Snapshot 7, which has the flanger on it. So it's momentary. So when you press it, it goes to Snapshot 7, which has the flanger. When you release it, it goes to Snapshot 1, which is my dry crunch. Okay, and I can change that. I can actually make another one of these to go to a different setting afterwards or whatever I want. So now you're not double tapping and turning it on, turning it off, because sometimes you're doing some pretty intricate things, and you can find the switch before you do the intricate thing, but maybe during it you're trying to, where do I put my foot? I can't see because I'm watching my guitar neck and trying to concentrate on what I'm doing. Just keep it there until you're done with that passage, let off, and you're back to wherever you wanted to be based on what your programming was. So it's just super, super handy. This is made for touring musicians with all of that stuff in mind. It's mind-blowingly smart. It's like one of the best features of the Helix right here, and it's under the hood, and it's amazing. So then you go to this one, Snapshot 8, which I programmed to be it's got a script mod phase in it for the solo. So you have a modded solo. So that's basically it. That's what I did here, and you could do much, much more with it, but I just wanted to do something today to show you the options. And so on some of these, like with this one here, the one with the latching, or the, with the press release where I go to the flanger, well, that flanger is actually on a loop right here. So it's an external pedal, so you can turn the loop on and off. So I mean, it's just so handy. It just does so many things, So I mean, you really can't go wrong with it. And again, this is my first time doing it. I've never used HX Edit ever before, other than doing updates. This is my first time actually using it and using this feature. And it was kind of a risk for me to do this on the same day that I was going to do, a live stream, not let alone film something. I'm doing a live stream with this. But I have so much faith in how easy the Helix is to use that I was like, I'll roll the dice on this, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to come up with a winning number. And I did. I mean, this was really easy. Yes, I had to ask a couple questions from some friends like Ben Burnett, but that was only because I never used it before. And once I learned a couple of the workarounds, I mean, it was easy. So that's basically it. So again, I'll go through them real quick. Here is the dry crunch, and you can label everything right here, and pick the colors. Here's my big crunch, solo, big solo, clean with a reverse delay. Here is my momentary type switch for the flanger, and then here is my phase lead. And I have 2 switches left that I haven't even done anything with yet. So that shows you how much flexibility and options are here. Very easy to do. And you can, worst case scenario, if you run out of room on this and you need more on another preset, you can program the other preset to do all the stuff. But I don't see how you would run out of room here. I really don't. I mean, this is insane. It's really cool. So I wanted to show that to you real quick. It's not necessarily a tutorial on how to do it. It's more or less, this is what I did. But I think if you rewind this and watch it back, it'll show you how to do it for the most part, because you just go to Window, Global Command Center, and everything pulls up here. And everything you want to do is right here. You pick whatever you want it to do. and it'll do it. It's real simple. Like here's all your your MIDI commands up here. So I'm looking forward to doing all this stuff with my Synergy rig as well. And I've always wanted the snapshots to do momentary, because there's momentary things I like to do with flangers. And I mean, I can make it work, by stepping on it and selecting something else afterwards. But there's times where the momentary really comes in handy, because you're doing stuff really quickly back and forth, and it just makes it easier. And here it is. Like now it's like, function-wise, I don't really think there's anything the Helix can't do. Here's a product that's just not going to tell you no. I mean, you're not going to hit a brick wall with this now. It's just, it'll do anything. Any switch can now become anything you want it to be. It's like, it's crazy. It's like every switch is a genie in a bottle. What do you want? I want this. Poof, there it is. Like, holy crap, So it's just an amazing, amazing thing. So what I'm going to do now is I have to close out of this, and I'm going to take the Helix over into the other, section of the studio back on camera, and then I'll play through all the stuff for you. So just give me a minute here. I'm sorry, bear with me for a minute, and I will get that going, okay? So 1 second here. Okay, here we are. Got the Helix right here. I just got a message saying that you guys couldn't see the screen. I don't understand that. I tested all this before I went live, and oh, for crying out loud, you couldn't see the screen? Really? Like, so all that talking I did, it was just a blank screen. Blank screen. Oh man, I'm sorry, guys. You can imagine the screen. Such enthusiasm. Man, I'm so sorry, guys. I really am. I don't understand why the screen didn't come up. I tested everything earlier. Why wouldn't it come up? Let me know if you want me to do that spiel again. I'll bring it back over and do it again. It'll only take a minute, but I am so sorry that the screen didn't pop up. That really sucks. Oh, man. Possible to click a snapshot button to enable the snapshot, and you click the same button again and have it do a different snapshot. Basically have it like click and release. Yeah, that's what I did with one of them, and I'm so sorry that the screen didn't pop up, because you could have seen what I was doing there. So maybe what I can do is try to film that, and then I could put it up for you guys, and just so you can see it. I'm so sorry that didn't work. That really, I'll tell you, man, everything was going so good today. Figures something had to go wrong. Oh geez. Yeah, so last week's troubles carried over into this week, it looks like, so far. Alright, let me see what I got here. 1 second here, let me get up the volume here. Okay, as I said before, this was all dialed in by sight, not sound. So I just dialed all this stuff in kind of by memory. There's going to have to be some fine-tuning that I have to do to it before I release this preset. So I might have to release this preset tomorrow, depending on how much time I have tonight. But the Pod Go should be up there tonight. That one sounds amazing. So all you do is put your favorite impulse response in there, and you're off to the races with that one. So the two bottom switches, one is dry crunch, the second one's big crunch, and the top one is the regular lead, and the top left is regular lead, top right is lead with the script mod. So that's basically what that is. This one here is a lot more complicated. It was easy to do, but there's just more stuff on it. And again, I don't know why you guys couldn't see the screen. I tested it 10 times today, and I tell you, software is fun. Oh my god, and I turned my ringer off, so if Ben tried to call me, I didn't hear the ringer. So, oh man, thanks Chad, appreciate the super chat. A lot goes into these shows, hours and hours. So I appreciate that very much. You can see the patch but not the command center. That's so weird. So freaking weird. Just the command center overlay. Oh, I'm so sorry guys. I don't know why that didn't pop up. That's so strange. Okay, so let me go over what I did. All right, so I'm going to leave the mic on, so bear with the string clack, but so this is dry crunch. Here's the wet crunch. Sorry about the noise. I got to dial in the noise gate a little better. I will do that. Here's the lead. Okay, here's a big lead. You know, kind of a bigger lead with a little bit of, reverb on it. Here's a clean. Just standard clean. It's the Jazz Rivet, which is a good one. I got some, some delay, some, chorus, a little bit of reverb. I like the Searchlight's reverb dialed in, right. Sounds really good. And a compressor before the amp just to take that sharpness out. And again, all this was dialed in by sight, not sound. So I just did it for the episode. And it's kind of a template for you guys to kind of screw around with and see what I did, and you can reverse engineer it for you. But that said, I will fine tune it a little more for you. Okay, here's a clean with the reverse delay. It's got that eerie, creepy kind of thing going on with it. Okay, so here's something cool. Here's that momentary flanger. So as soon as I let off, it takes me back to the dry crunch, which is great. Or you can let it take you back to wherever you want. It just depends on what order you're doing things in your set, and it'll do that. And then here's the phase lead. So there's that. So I have all this stuff set up. It did not take long at all, and it's right underneath the hood. And all I have to do to get out of this is hit mode, and now I'm back into Snapshot mode, which was my original preset. So I set all this stuff up, and then I can change into the mode. Instead of hitting stomps, I go into Command Center mode, which is, or HX Command mode, and it just adds even more flexibility. So now you can have all that, and I'm literally showing you the tip of the iceberg tonight with all this. There's so much you can do. It's endless. It's literally endless. You can have one switch do 5 different things. I mean, you program it to do all kinds of different things. And, taking this out on the road and going out on tour with this would be an absolute joy, because now you're not river dancing. I mean, it was great with Snapshots, no river dancing anymore like that. There's that. And now, not only are you not river dancing, but you got your feet up and you're playing video games. I mean, it's just even that much easier. So, and the possibilities are endless. They really are. It's just so freaking cool. So, I can't say enough good things about this. It's just such a great feature, and I wish you guys could have seen the window when I had it up there. Oh, thanks for the super chat. 400 billion says billion sons. Thank you so much. And wow, Jason Taylor, thank you so much. He says, thanks always, Jared. Love having an extra live session to watch on a Monday. Otherwise, who knows what I'd be doing right now. Yeah, I mean, who knows what I'd be doing right now, too. I mean, I get just as much out of hanging out with you guys. I really do. I enjoy it. It's a highlight of my week. Anytime we can hang out with you guys. So I really appreciate it. Alec Byrne says, seconded. Command Center is so contagious. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't used this feature yet, just hit the mode button and start programming. And you're going to be like, you mean I could do this? Oh, you mean, wait, I can do this? Oh, wait, oh my God, I can do this? You're going to be like a kid at Christmas again. Like, the update's great. 2.9 or 2.91 is great. It really is, like with the Rev amp and the Rev Purple channel and all that. It's awesome. But I honestly think that this part of the update is the best part of it. It really is, because underneath the hood, there's so much you can do. See, my concern was, okay, so if I do this, that means it's global. And that means all my stuff has to go to that. And then I got, no, it's not true. It only works for each preset, which is a good thing, because now, you can go in and take some chances and fiddle around with it and not worry about it like globally messing up your Helix. It's not. It's just that preset, you know? And if you already have your snapshots and all that stuff the way you want it, it's okay. You just hit mode and you open up a whole new palette of things that you can do. But again, make sure when you hit mode, you know how when you hit mode, you have some people put their stomps in there. I did that earlier today. I'm like, well, let me put all my stomps up there and I'll do this and that. And then I started programming and then writing over top of those stomps. The problem was I was turning stomps on that I was trying to turn off with the commands that I was putting in there, so it was confusing the Helix. I'm surprised it didn't start on fire with all the stupidity I had. So I had to start over with a new preset and go, oh, that's why it's turning those on, because when it turns gray like that, when you push it, that means it's doing two different things. And I picked up on it. I was like, oh, that's what I did wrong. So dummy me, I had to go back and start all over again and create a whole new thing and not put the stomps in there and assign them to switches in the mode section. So don't do that. And if you did do it, delete those assignments, because this actually is better than that. Because now when you go up to mode, you can do a whole show in HX command mode, as opposed to like there's guys that like, well, if I want to hit a stomp or whatever, let's go up to mode. Again, you're river dancing. Like when I'm playing, I play some pretty difficult stuff. At least it's difficult for me. I can't be tapping this and pushing that because I'll probably be on a preset that I shouldn't have been on, you know? Because I'm too busy looking at all this stuff and I don't want to be responsible for what happens down here. So with the mode button up on command mode, it's just so much better. So if you haven't experimented with it, you might want to copy a preset that you is your go-to, your tried and true preset. Copy it to a new section, and then go into mode and just have fun with it. Just go nuts and really see what it can do. And it's very easy to do on the Helix as well, but I did it on the software tonight because I wanted you to see what I was doing, and I guess that didn't work out. But a lot of times when I film the screen, you get the glare and it blurs and stuff, so I wanted to do that tonight. So, but just have some fun with it. I'm just telling you, you're going to get hooked on it, and you're going to wonder how you ever played your Helix without it. It's just as important to the Helix as Snapshots was. It really is. It's that much of a game changer for it. It's just such a great feature, you know, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have already tried it, and I wanted to see what your thoughts on it as well. Robbie Timms, if you're using OBS, there are two ways to stream your screen. One selects a specific window, and the other way streams whatever's on the display. I can't remember. Yeah, this is the first time I actually did a screen share, too, was tonight. And I researched it before I did it, and I recorded it, and it showed the window, but I must have pushed something wrong. I'll tell you, live streaming, you never know what's going to happen, and I guess that's half the fun. It's like going to watch the Indy 500 or whatever. You never know if you're going to see a crash or not. So, but it is what it is. You know, that's the thing is that's one of the reasons why I live stream, because I like the excitement, I like the adrenaline that I get. And when I used to come down here and spend all day shooting videos and editing and all that, I never got adrenaline out of it. I never felt good about it. It was like a drain on me. It's so taxing on me, and I just got tired of talking into a lens and taking multiple takes because I didn't say the way I should have, and I retake every phrase and pick the best one and have to edit it all and upload. I just got so tired of it. I'd rather do this, and I'd rather put up with some of the stress and the mistakes that are associated with going live, because once I'm done, I'm done. I don't have to spend 8 hours editing something, you know? So, and I get to hang out with you guys. I mean, that's really the best part. I get to hang out with you guys live and hear read your comments and interact with you in real time, as opposed to tomorrow typing stuff, which I don't mind doing, but when you can ask me a question now, or I can ask you a question now, we can get answers right away. And you get the voice inflection. I can explain things better, because let's face it, typing, you're going to give everybody a minimalist answer, or otherwise you're going to be typing all day. So yeah, anyways, let's see here. Gravel Rocks Band. You need to get a generator. You know what? I do have a generator. I need to repair it though because I put the stable in the gas, but I left it in there for 2 years and the carburetor's messed up. So I got to get a new carburetor for it. So once I get that, I'll have my generator back. So next time I lose power, I won't have to worry about it. Okay, so 400 billionsons. The interactivity of live is way cooler for this kind of thing. No, cool. I appreciate that. I mean, again, there's going to be things that go wrong. I'll snap a string. I'll play something wrong. I'll forget something. I mean, it happens. But then again, you know, it's live, and I don't get so stressed out about it. I feel bad when things don't go right, but at the same time, it's like, well, it's live. I mean, full-blown Hollywood productions that are live have huge, huge things go wrong on their sets sometimes. So it's going to happen here too, but I do agree, like, the interaction's way better. I love hanging out with you guys. I really do. It's better. Let's see, Aaron Short, when I go live, I learn from people too. It's such a great platform. No, it really is, and that's what I mean. Like, I learn from you guys too. So I always get something out of going live, every single time. Let's see here. Totally the way to go. Live is always great. Mistakes and all. The humanity comes through. No, seriously, thank you. I mean, and I appreciate people understanding that. I really do, because I'm going to have nights where things just don't go right. I'm going to have nights where I completely botch a whole solo. I'll forget where I'm supposed to go, and I'll just crap the bed. It's just going to happen, you know? So, and honestly, I've learned how to just laugh at it now and go, whatever, you know? It is what it is. I used to get so uptight about stuff like that, but I don't care anymore. I've seen people way better than me make horrible mistakes. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, well, I guess I'm okay then, you know. If that guy makes a mistake, I guess I'm allowed to. Let's see, Gravel Rocks. You do a great job with your videos. First time I saw it, I got hooked, and that's why I keep coming. Dude, thank you so much, man. Seriously, it really means a lot, guys. It really does, and I hope that at least when I did the earlier thing that on the computer screen, that you at least saw enough to maybe understand what I was doing, and maybe what I was saying helped with that. You just click on Window and go down to the command center, and everyth's right there. You just pick whatever switch you want to change, assign whatever you want to it, and go on to the next one. It's super simple. Yeah, the whiskey helps too, Aaron says. Yeah, it does take the edge off. I mean, usually when I come down here, I'm pretty hopped up, and that's literally why I drink this. It kind of keeps me mellow. Otherwise, I can get a little out of control. You're out of control. All right, so let me do a mix with this. I mean, why not? Let me find. I don't even know how it's going to sit in the mix at all, because I dialed this in completely by my eyes, not by sound at all. So let me just do a quick little. Let's see what we got. I got to get used to where all these buttons are too, because this is the first time I ever played with this. So give me a second here. Let's take that again. The mix was too low. Here we go. not bad at all for not even testing it or touching it when I dialed it in. Not freaking bad. That came out pretty good. Yeah, I got to fine tune it a little bit, but it's pretty good. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, sorry about the volume issue at the beginning there. That was the first time I ever even lined this up with the track and everything. So, but yeah, I thought it performed really well. It's a great feature, and again, I really think that they did a great job with that. Knocked it out of the park, and I really have to hand it to Line 6, Eric Klein, whoever else on the team that did the dialing in of this new feature and all of the things associated with 2.91 update. I mean, it's great. It really is. I can't wait to incorporate all this with my Synergy rig upstairs. I just think it's going to work even better now. It's going to be more fun, more functional, and flexible for me. You know, the thing is we're creative, right? This is what we do. We're creative people. We do creative things, and anything that gets in the way of our creativity is considered like it's something that's just frustrating, and we don't want it. Even if the piece of gear sounds amazing, but if it does things that stop us or stifle our creativity with hang-ups and things that make it like inflexible, it's frustrating. With the Helix, and especially with this update, the Helix basically just gets out of your way. It just says, well, you want to do this? All right, well, you go do it. Here's the thing that you got to do. You just push this or turn that, and you could do it now. It just helps you. It enhances your creativity. And the best kind of products out there are ones that we don't really appreciate because they're so easy to use. We're not thinking about the product anywhere. We just reach down and turn a knob and it does it. And sometimes it's easy to not appreciate that product because, again, it's a low-maintenance product. It does everything you want it to do, and you don't really think about it because it's kind of out of your mind. It just, you know, it's like the door that just opens up when you walk up to it. You don't really appreciate the door. You just appreciate the fact that you have to walk. You get to walk through without having to touch anything or stop or slow down. It senses you coming. It opens up and you go in. And that's kind of how the Helix is. It's like one of those doors. So I wanted to stop and take a moment to give this product the appreciation that it deserves for being that door that just opens up and lets us walk through. And the team that made this possible also, thank you. Seriously, it's so cool to be able to just, you know, have something that just does so many great things for you. And again, I really love my Helix 4 cable method. I think it sounded really good tonight as well. So did the Pod Go Direct. But I have so many cool amps that I love that I hook it up to those, and it's like a perfect match. And it's so easy to do, and the features and the flexibility and the control and the effects that I get are just unbeatable. It's just amazing. So super happy with this update. Very, very happy. Jason Taylor, sounds great. I may have missed it, but you are using the Precision Drive or a built-in overdrive. Good question. The Precision Drive's in here, but I'm using a built-in one for this preset. And the main reason why I'm doing that is because I'm uploading this preset later. That said, the flanger that you heard is the John Petrucci's signature pedal from it's a Dreamscape. It's the flanger on there. I love that flanger pedal. I mean, it's just so, you know. It's just such a great pedal. But for the one that I dial in for, you know, you guys when I upload it, I'll get the gray flanger, and I'll put that in there for you, so you have that. So I just did that to show some flexibility that you can do all this stuff with, you know, with the, you know, the command. You can even use it for loops and stuff like that. So Helix Cabana Boy, before that option appeared back on the function list. Oh, I must have missed something. I was using the command center functions last night, he says, and I noticed that if you are adding a button to jump up to another preset, watch out as it's DSP dependent. Okay. I had to delete a few blocks before that option appeared. Oh, okay. Good to know. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that can happen. I haven't, trying to think. Excuse me, I'm trying to think if I ran out of DSP yet on here. Well, since I use it for cable, it's hard for me to because I'm not using amps or cabs. So that probably saves a lot of DSP. Joel Aguirre, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Is that Victory amp awesome? Oh man, dude, seriously, I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play this tonight. This amp is more than awesome. Like, if you ever get a chance to buy one of these, just do it. This is the Victory, the Super Kraken. It's the 100-watt version. This amp is like the most ridiculous amp you'll ever own. You'll probably never, I mean, you'll probably buy more amps because we all gas for everything, right? But it's one of those amps that is always going to be like, you know, just amazing to you. You'll never want to sell it. You'll never want to part with it. It's just an amazing amplifier. I love that amp. In fact, when I did I asked you guys a couple weeks ago, like, what you guys want me to cover more, and a lot of people were like, do some more Victory Kraken stuff. So you know what? Maybe I'll do that within the next week or so. I'll create a preset on HX Command that is a 4-cable preset that'll run the Kraken, and I'll do a night with the Kraken again with a bunch of mixes and have some fun with it. Because, man, I love playing through that amp. It's always it's joy. It's like I always have my face hurts from smiling so much and making stink face when I'm playing all my nasty notes and stuff with it, because it's just such a great amp. It's got that sticky kind of like feel to it. Great cut, but a little bit of darkness, which I like. And the tone and the feel is just so percussive and thick and full and amazing. So it's a great amp. If you ever get a chance to play through one, don't turn it down. It really is worth every penny. And they're made by hand in England. And this is the 18th one ever built in England from Victory. And it's just an incredible piece of gear. What's the stand you're using for the tablet mount? It looks, let's see. Oh, these are light stands, actually. For my I have lights in here, and it's just an extra light stand. And I just put the mount on it, and, and I can tilt it and, do all that. And so it's just a regular light stand for what you use for studio lights. That's all it is. And yeah, they're pretty sturdy. So I figured, well, I'll just clamp it to that. But you can clamp it to a mic stand, you can do whatever you want. But I like these stands because they're nice and wide and it won't tip over. So, Jason Taylor says, sounds great. Oh, he already asked. I already read that. Sorry. Sometimes I get screwed up on the comments here. Nice, Jared. Alex says, "Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that's a cool song. I actually named it the Catacombs. That's the name for it now. The Catacombs. It's just a weird song, and I figured I'd give it a weird, kind of creepy, very interesting name. That's one of my favorite ones too. Yeah, there's a lot of chromatics in that song. It's kind of a disjointed kind of song. I always wanted to write a song that had a lot of chromatics in it and make it sound interesting. And I hope I achieved that, Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Helix Cabana Boy says some of the reverbs and delays use more DSP than others. Yeah, I love the, what is that? The, get out of this mode here. Searchlights. I always use searchlights, and I just dial it in to whatever taste I have or whatever is appropriate for things. I'll play it for you. So that's what I have it dialed in for the clean channel. A really cool effect on searchlights is when you turn the decay up to, let's just go up to 8, but you turn the mix way down. So you don't have that cavernous thing that overpowers your mix. This is just a quick setting, but I'll show you what it sounds like. Isn't that cool? It's got that long fadeaway, but it doesn't overpower what you're playing. I'll play a couple chords. Sorry about the little noise afterwards. I still got to dial in that gate. Yeah, so all that is I just put the decay up to 8.1 and the mix is at 16%. And that's it. That's the only changes I made. So while you're playing, it doesn't overpower what you're doing, but as soon as you pull out, especially if you dial in the noise gate properly, it just melts away and it's just got this subtle, but I always call it big subtle. It's got this big subtle kind of feel. So it doesn't overpower the room with all this like horrible delay and reverb kind of stuff, but you just got this presence that just kind of comes behind it. And that's one of my favorite things to do with reverb because I'm not a huge reverb fan, especially with like, you know, excuse me, metal tones and like rhythms and stuff. But sometimes it's nice to have that. So when you end a song or you end a part of a song and you got maybe a piano line coming in or a singer just doing a vocal line over keyboards or some clean guitar, it's nice to have that. So when you pull out, it kind of glues those two parts together in a live situation, just like it would on an album, you know, because on an album you could do that. You could say, oh, make that delay tail come out a little longer so we can kind of melt these two parts together and without any awkwardness. Well, you can do that live now. Just leave the trails on, and when you switch presets snapshots or whatever, it'll kind of melt right into the next setting and it's not awkward. That's what I look for when I see a band live. That's how I can tell a band is at pro level because all that stuff's there. There's a production in the show by the musicians. They're not relying on a sound guy to do that. They're doing it themselves, and the Helix lets you do that. You can produce your own show with this product by dialing in your effects appropriately. And it's fun. It's a blast. I love doing it. I love knowing that we're playing the song, and what I do is I typically have my preset set up per song, so I can tailor all the effects and the not just the effects that I choose, but the way I dial them in for that song. So when there's special parts that come up, I have a momentary switch for the flanger. I have a big reverb that melts and creates a bridge between two sections, and it gives Carrie like a little bit of a nice soft landing into the part that she's about to sing, and there's no awkwardness. And people appreciate it. They might not know what it is that you're doing, you know, just like when you're eating really good food. You don't know what's in it, but it's amazing. And that's all that matters to the audience. And you get to be creative with this. And you're not pulling your hair out to make all this stuff happen. You know, it's very easy to do. So this is a product that gets out of your way. It gets out of your way and allows you to do anything you want. And that's one of the things that I've always loved about the Helix. Ever since I've owned it, I switched from going direct with it to using it with my amps and 4-cable method. And I honestly, that's when I really found what the Helix, as far as like its true inner powers, like all that stuff was released when I did that. Yes, you can use it as a direct unit, and it sounds really good for that, especially with all the updates they've done. It sounds better than it ever has. But when you have amps that like the Kraken, I mean, it's like, why wouldn't you incorporate the Helix with that? You know, and that speaks highly of the Helix as well, because I'm pairing the Helix with a $2,000 hand-built boutique amp. You know, and it's a great marriage. So there's not like, you know, the Helix is marrying up. You know, it's equal as far as quality, features, flexibility, and all that stuff goes. You know, it works very well with it, and it does what it does just as well as the Kraken or any other amp that I hook it up to does what it does. It's just a great pair, you know, for anything. Let's see here. Let me just catch up to you guys, and I gotta close out in about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm gonna have to go, but I'll hang out with you guys for a few more minutes. Let's see here in short. I'm just trying to catch up to you here. Helix Cabana Boy, I'm still waiting for your Kraken profiles. Didn't I send those to you? I thought I did. Man, I thought for sure I sent those to you. I apologize. I'll get them to you. If I haven't, I'll get them to you. I have to send some to Paul, a really good a friend of mine out in I think he's out in the Rhode Island area. Great guy, great man, fantastic guitar player. He wants to try him out too. Joel says the Kraken is expensive. Does it sound like a Marshall? No, it sounds like a Marshall should sound. Basically, okay, so you have 2.5 channels on it. So you have channel 1, which is a great clean channel, but if you switch, there's a switch on there to make it a gain or a clean channel. And the gain channel is more of a British style, or I should say the gain version of channel 1 is more of a British voiced kind of thing, with which it's like a lowish to mid, almost high mid gain, and it sounds great. But channel 2 is more of a 5150, it's American voiced 5150, but a more refined. Like if you took a 5150 in and got it modded, and I know because I've played a modded one, and yeah, it's quite a bit different. It's more of a refined, not so brittle top end 5150, and it just kills the 5150. It's just a much better version of one. It's just very refined, but it's nasty. It's so nasty though. And it's just got great tone and feel, and it's American voice, which Marshalls are not. I like American voiced amps. I'm not a huge fan of Marshalls, and no disrespect to people that love them. I totally understand why they like them. They just don't really work for me as much as the American voice stuff does. That's why I play like the PRS, MT15, very American voiced, and so is the Channel 2 on the Super Kraken. It's just what I go after, and all the Synergy modules that I like that I play, they're all American voiced ones, So that's kind of what I go for, and I just like that fuller sound. So that's what I go for. But it's just a great amp. It really sounds good. And it's worth every penny because it's got all the MIDI commands on it that you could possibly want. So any knob or switch, all these switches on here, that are in between the lights or the knobs, all of those are MIDI programmable. So there's an on, off, and then in the middle it's neutral, and then the Helix will control all that stuff. So you can turn the overdrive on, you can switch from a clean to a dirty channel with it. There's all kinds of different switches that it has on it that you can control via MIDI. I mean, when they made this amp, they really thought of everything. Like, it's for a touring musician that's serious and needs all that stuff. But it looks like a piece of furniture. It's gorgeous. So you'd want to put it in a amp, like a rack case, because you would not want this thing getting scuffed up. It's just too pretty. I still got the tag on it, the British tag. So, like, all that's on there, and it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous amp. So, yeah. And I love talking about it, obviously. It's like my pride and joy here. So, let's see here. How many channels does the Super Kraken have? Is there MIDI? Oh, sorry, I read that after I answered it. So, yeah, hopefully that helped you. The answer helped you. Yeah, it's MIDI controlled, does everything that you want it to do. It's 2.5 channels, because channel 1 can act as a gain channel or a clean. Let's see here. Daryl says, I run the Helix with my Rev Generator 7.4 Mark II and my Carol Ann triptych. I'm sorry if I can't read this right. I got my glasses. 7 cable mode, baby. Yeah, 7 cable, dude. I haven't used that yet. That's probably beastly. Yeah, and that's the thing about the Helix is, like, if you have amps that are amazing, and you just can't find the sound in here because they haven't modeled that amp, or because, again, like anyone will tell you, Eric Klein will tell you, like the guy that invented this thing and built it and designed it, this is not an amp in a room. It's not like an amp. It's a mic'd up amp in a room. So it's like a studio version, a recorded version of your amp. And there's guys that just want that amp in the room feel, that raw aggression, that tubes, like that crazy alive-ish kind of things that amps do, that bounciness, that chewiness, all that back and forth, that volley that they get, the reaction, the relationship that they get. But they just can't part with their amp, no matter how good modeling or profile has gotten. They just got to have their amp. Buy a Helix anyway, because it'll pair with it, give you all the effects you could ever want, and then some. It'll switch it, control it, and so I can hit any one of these switches, and it'll turn channels on that amp for me, just like that, and turn on all the effects. So I'm not up here river dancing all night. It's just amazing. It really is. And let's just say you're on tour and you blow a tube in your amp or something happens to it, and you're like, what am I going to do tonight? Well, just dial one in here real quick. You got a spare tire amp in here. You could just do it and it'll get you through the show. So it's like it's the best of both worlds. So if you do, have issues with your amp on the road, because we've all done that, we've all been there. Well, you got amps in here that sound really good, and they're more than good enough to get you through a show or even a couple shows. So this is such a great insurance policy. It really is. Brilliant. Oh, Helix, not the test profiles, the finished ones. I need to purchase from your website. Hurry up and finish. I'll buy Rabia's instead. Oh my God, you Aussies are something else, man. You guys are great. So, I don't know what I would do without you, Darren, man. Going in here and ribbing me. I love it. No, I'll totally get those done. When I got sick for 2 weeks, that set me back for a month, because I was sick for 2 weeks, and then it took me a week and a half to recover. It really did, before I could even think straight. It was a week and a half before I could even listen to my own guitar playing. It was awful. I'm still recovering. That took me down hard. So, but I am feeling better, and then I started upgrading with a better camera and doing all the stuff for the show. So that's held me back. So there's just a lot of things going on. But the website's almost done, and it's up to me. I'm the one that's holding everything up. So I got to fill out some more stuff tonight and get that done. And it'll be up soon, and I can't wait to have a launch party with you guys for the website. I think it's going to be fun. Jason Taylor, man, Jared, you have a really smooth delivery on your live shows. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There's so many people with no flow to their videos. Great job on keeping our attention and teaching us so many cool things. Oh my God, dude, that made my day. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Jason. It seriously, like a lot goes into this stuff, but it's always worth it because I get to hang out with you guys. Seriously, I get just as much out of this stuff as you do. I really do, and I really appreciate the encouragement, because it's something I always wonder, like the barometer, like am I, I hope that I'm coming across okay. I hope that I'm conveying my points properly. And yeah, I get passionate about things from time to time, but I never want to offend anybody. But if I have points that I really want to drive home to people, because I think it's important, sometimes I can get a little, overbearing with it, but I try not to. But I'm doing the best I can, and I appreciate what you said, because I really want you guys to enjoy the show and enjoy hanging out with me, because that was my goal with this whole thing, is to literally just be like, we're all in the same room, we're having a glass of whiskey or beer or whatever, and we're just talking shop, man. We're just kicking back and enjoying ourselves and just being real. I'm not trying to sell you guys anything. Yes, I get passionate about stuff, but the passion that I convey here is real. Like I don't get any, like tonight, Line 6 is not sending me a check tomorrow for $8 billion because I talked up the Helix. They're not, and I don't expect them to, I'm just telling you the things because I really think that I believe in the product for what I'm using it for tonight. And I really think that, you guys should consider it in the Pod Go for the reasons that I explained earlier. And anybody that's seen my Facebook page, you can scroll down. You can see when I'm on stage, typically it's the Synergy Helix hybrid rig. That's what I play with live, and you'll see the Helix right out on the floor in front of me, and I'm switching my Synergy modules with it. And yes, there's times where I use other products as well, but that's my favorite rig that I have is the Helix Synergy hybrid rig. It's just it's so freaking good. It's just everything. I have the modules upstairs, and I have all the flexibility of those with the flexibility and effects and switching with this, and it's like I can't go wrong. It's just amazing. So yeah, so anyways, again, thank you so much for the kind words. I seriously, man, I really appreciate that. 400 billion sons. Yeah, man, he's great at speaking off the cuff and keeping it informative. Thank you so much. What's funny is I appreciate it. Thank you, 400 billion sons. I've actually done public speaking. I've actually I'm in the pressure washing industry. I've been in it for 21 years now, and I've held conventions that I've done myself, and I've actually spoke at conventions. I was at Washington a couple years ago, spoke at that one, and another one in Pennsylvania. I think it was Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, or something like that. About 4 years ago, I did that one. Years and years ago, I used to hold them and spoke at them as well. And I always enjoyed doing it. It was always fun for me, and it's still something I'm passionate about. But as we get older and we change, and I still love my business and I do it, and I'll be working my butt off tomorrow. Actually signed up a few jobs, closed a few deals today that I got to do next week, and I appreciate it very much. But this is really, my passions have shifted. Again, I'm still taking care of my business and doing all that, but my passion is kind of shifted over into this because I really enjoy this very much, and I think I really found a home here where I really enjoy doing this and hanging out with you guys and demoing gear. Because that's I know it sounds weird, because when you're a musician, it's like your favorite thing about being a musician, it should be the craft, right? Like the music. But man, I'll tell you, the gear is a very close rival to that. I mean, I love playing. I love writing. I love performing. I love working on solos and getting better and stuff like that. But the gear that I get to play through is like, it's a very close second. It's almost neck and neck. It would be a photo finish if they had a race, because I just love gear so much. And it's funny, like in the past, how bands go through problems and people quit, and then you think, well, is this it? And I've had that go through my head before in certain bands that I've been in. And the first thing that came to my mind was always like, but when am I going to be able to play all this gear? It's like, the baseball team broke up and no one's going to play anymore, and I got this shiny new bat that hits the ball harder than anything else and a brand new glove, and when am I going to be able to use these again? I got to start a new team because I want to use this stuff. And that's literally what my attitude was, and it still is kind of like that. I get to work with Carrie too, which is also very fun. So yeah, I just love gear. I really do. Gear is like my favorite thing ever. So all right, well, it's 10:09. I've been on here for 2 hours, and I got to get some food in me and stuff, and I got to finish. I'm going to take the Kraken upstairs. Thanks for asking about that too, because it kind of makes me want to take it upstairs and play it tonight. So I'm gonna. So I really very much appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Seriously, it means the world to me. It's the highlight of my week when I get to hang out with you guys. It really honestly is. And I hope you guys got something out of this. I appreciate all the comments, all the questions. I appreciate the kind words and the encouragement, and Darren messing with me. Darren, I love you, man. You're awesome. I've talked to Darren several times on the phone in Australia. He's an awesome guy. And I really appreciate you guys very much, all of you. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here. I'll be live again Wednesday night. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. I'll post it in the community section. I'm really trying to get creative with all that stuff because all the stores are closed still, and it's hard for me to go in and get new gear to demo for you guys. But I'll have something for you. And we'll have some fun, have some more whiskey and some more conversation and all that. So please give this video a like. I would really appreciate that because it does help with the algorithm. And thank you all for your support and for the super chats and everything else as well. God bless you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you guys on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Thank you.